I'm in downtown right now. What is it, like April 25th of 2025? Let's see. Yeah, April 25th, Friday. And I'm alone. I just went through a breakup, and yeah, it's weird being alone. It's not it's not what I'm used to. I was in a relationship for a long time, but was thinking about relocating and moving to a different city. And it's a city that, looking at some cities that are like super social and really good for business and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, you have these visions of grandeur, and you think about, oh my gosh, like, oh, this city's gonna be dope, like, it's gonna cure all my problems. And no, it's not. And that's what you have to keep telling yourself, is like, hey dude, if you're not good here, you're not going to be good there. Obviously there's like situational changes and things like that, but for the most part, you have like these visions of grandeur and like these grand visions, and like, to be honest, like if you're not social here, you won't be social there. And so that's how I make my decisions on where I'm going to move and things like that, is like knowing like, okay, what are like the actual opportunities? What are the actual opportunities? Are they business opportunities? Are they relationship opportunities? Is there more people there? Is there more money circulating there? Is it a better town that aligns with my values? All these things. But many times I have these thoughts of like, oh, it's like I'm gonna meet so many more people, and look at all these restaurants. Like, dude, there's tons of restaurants in Oklahoma City that I never go to, that are really, really good. So just because I moved to another city, do you think I'm gonna be going to all these other restaurants if I don't go to restaurants now? Like, you really have to, when you're considering making a huge life change, you have to let go of all those like little futile and small little things that attract you and encourage you to make that decision. Because at the end of the day, like, a lot of these things that attract you are things that you can really control. And there's better opportunities in certain areas, but for the most part, you really have to look at the big picture. Like, will it set your future family up for success? Because just because you move cities doesn't mean that your business is going to go 10x just from being in a different city. Like, you still have to put in the work. Like, you still have to restart and take the risk and do the groundwork and lay the groundwork, that it's not easy. And so when moving, when going through a hard time, when making a life change, you have to consider that too. And nothing is ever going to be just gravy, where it's like things are just going to magically disappear, and your pain is going to magically disappear, or your loneliness, or anything. But that leads me to my next point, which is risk. And with risk, the other side of this is risk. And so with risk, what I always tell myself is bite off more than you can chew and figure out how to swallow it. But man, when the rubber hits the road, and like, there's certain risks I'm really comfortable taking, but when the rubber really hits the road and there's a big, massive risk, it's terrifying. I thought about relocating and moving cities, and to be honest, it's quite terrifying. And I have to restart and rebuild my life and almost start from square one, which honestly is not square one, because I have a business and things are rolling and things like that. And I work all remote, so it doesn't really matter. But still, it's like, I got to rebuild a friend group, which honestly, in Oklahoma City, I don't really have like a huge friend group. I have like a lot of connections business wise, and I know a lot of people, but when it comes to like friends hanging out on the weekends, not really. And that was my fault. When I got into a relationship, I kind of stopped hanging out with a lot of people, and for better and for worse, but I kind of lost that community in Oklahoma City, because I was just so busy. I was busy with work and dating and really progressing my life. And so there's just a lot of things going through my head, thinking about places to move and stuff like that. Got a few cities on my mind, but gonna stay hush hush about it. And there's so many opportunities here. Like, there's so many opportunities that have happened to me in the last like 48 hours that are in Oklahoma City, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, I have my eyes on a few cities, and I'm like ready to make that move in the next couple months. And it's scary, and then like other things are like pulling me back. But the biggest thing is, the reason I'm moving is because of opportunity and inspiration. You know, Oklahoma City's great, but you move to, you know, cities like Dallas, Houston, Miami, Orange County, LA, Chicago, whatever, and there's so much business going around, there's so much money circulating, there's so many people to meet, so many successful people. Yeah, you get your handful of like not so great people too, but I feel like I'm ready to jump, and I'm so scared and I'm so nervous. Like, genuinely, I'm not just saying this to like sound cool. I mean, I don't think anyone who says they're scared sounds cool, but I'm just being super, super honest. It's gonna be a big move for me. I have no idea how any of this is gonna work. Rent's always gonna be more because Oklahoma City is so much more affordable and like cheaper. But I have it on my heart to just go. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see, you know, if I even move, you know, after I post this video. Who knows? You know, God, you know, there's a quote that says, you know, man plans his steps and God laughs, and I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I know that it's the best thing for me. And man, like, even just getting out of this relationship, it sucked. It sucked. But you know, you just have to tell yourself, like, you know, it's everything is God's plan, and you just have to trust and know that God will provide the right people in your life, the right network, the right connections, the right relationships, and that needs to be your hope and your joy. And man, I'm just telling you right now, if you don't have Jesus and you don't have God, when hard times hit, I don't know what you guys do, because when hard times hit me, I could pray, I could look up, I could pray to God, and have that comfort me and surround me. And I'm surrounded by so many good Christ followers and Christian believers that pray for me and keep me in their prayers and do some amazing things, and just, you know, keep me in the loop, you know. And I've had a rough, you know, last month, to be honest, and so many people have reached out and have shown me love, and it's been amazing. And so if you don't know Jesus Christ, I suggest just starting and reopening the Bible and reading it, and just joining a local church. And you don't even have to believe when you first start, but just try and try to pray. The scariest prayer that you could ever pray as someone who doesn't believe in Jesus Christ would be, God, if you're real, show up. And I guarantee you, if you pray that and over and over and over again, God will show up. God will reveal himself to you, and it's going to be the best thing ever. It's going to be the greatest thing ever, and it's all going to make sense. But when you don't know God, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense at all. And you look at the Bible and you're like, oh, this is like hogwash. But once you start to pray and you see God work in your life, and you see the glory and wonder that he provides, it's the most amazing thing ever. And through this hard time and through this breakup, you know, I felt a sense of peace through the whole thing, knowing that God is there, God will provide. All I need to do is focus my eyes on the kingdom, and God will provide. And so I think making this video, we're 9 minutes in, and I think I answered my question on being scared, because I should know. And you know, it's hard. It's funny that I'm making this video, because although I say this, you know, there's times where I'm just scared to crap. And you know, I tell everyone, you know, trust God, God will provide, but even me, sometimes I struggle with that. But I think, you know, we're at the 10-minute point now, and I think I realized that I'm scared to move to a bigger city. I'm scared to, face more competition, and I don't know what it's going to be like, and I don't know, anything, what clients I'm going to get, the network, the friends. I'm moving to another city, and I don't know anything. But like I told you, God will provide. And just saying that out loud, it's comforting. It makes me feel good. I feel a sense of peace, a genuine peace that I didn't feel 30 minutes ago. And sometimes it's like you just got to pop open the camera and start talking to it. And I'm just rambling here, like I'm driving, and I'm just kind of rambling, and it's starting to make more sense. And this is crazy. God will provide. And so always tell yourself that God will provide. Thank you, God. God will provide. And no matter where you go, what you go through, if you pray to God and ask him to provide and ask him to show up in your life, he will provide. And it might not be in the way that you think, but it is always the best way, and is always the best thing that God will provide for you. And it might not be in the moment that you're like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. But when you look back, it's always the best thing for you. And in the moments where things are lost, relationships are broken, jobs are switched, careers are changed, cities are moved, those are the moments where you're going to look back. And if you took the risk, and if you took full responsibility for yourself, those are the moments you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I am so glad I took that risk, and I was so scared, but I'm so glad I did, because XYZ lined up, and boom, boom, boom lined up, and all of a sudden you're here. I'll give you a quick story, and then I'll hop off. So I was in 7th grade. I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and I went to this Life After Baseball meeting where there's a bunch of scouts talking about like how to plan your life after high school baseball, college, pro, and then like just going to college as a student. And it was like a panel of people, and there's a Philly scout. His name was Bobby Gould. And Bobby Gould, if you're watching this, please message me. I want to reconnect, because it's because of you I am where I'm at today. So because I met Bobby Gould, all of a sudden, backtrack here. My parents made me go to this like panel of people talking about life after baseball and what to do. And after the meeting, I'm with my parents, and they said, hey, go up to that Philly scout, Bobby Gould, introduce yourself. And so I introduced myself. I was so scared. It's a Philly scout. I was a high school player. Like, Phillies in Major League Baseball is like a really big deal. And so like first impressions are everything. I don't know what I'm doing. And all of a sudden I shake his hand, super nice guy. And he's like, oh, hey, Marcus, and I get his number. I say, can I get your number? And I get his number, and all of a sudden he texts me that night. He's, hey, great meeting you, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, can you send me some video? And I'm like, what? I'm not even starting on JV. Okay, whatever. Send him some video. And then he said, I'm gonna come out to your game. He came out to my game. I was so embarrassed. I wasn't even starting. I begged my coach. I was like, hey, there's a Philly scout coming out to my game. My coach was like, what? You not even that good. Like, what do you mean there's a Philly scout coming to your game? And I was like, well, I met him. Can I start? And he gave me the start. And all of a sudden, I struck out like 3 times. And I was like, oh my God, like this guy's never going to talk to me. Like, I don't know why I even went up and shook his hand. Like, I'm not good enough. And then all of a sudden he texts me. He's like, hey man, like, hey, don't even worry about it. That happens all the time. Like, this big word of encouragement to me. He's like, hey, come out and meet some of the players. We're doing like a hitting session. And so I go to this hitting session, and they have the best players in Orange County at the hitting session. Like, everyone's committed. I'm like the only one on like that's even playing JV, and everyone's committed to like D1 schools. Everyone's like on draft boards, and I'm just there taking batting practice with them, making friends. And so then I met a guy. He's with the Tampa Bay Rays right now. His name is Blake Hunt, And Blake was there. He was committed to Pepperdine, and then he got drafted to high school a little bit later. But it was on the OC Giants I met Blake, and Blake introduced me to a guy named Mike Cosgrove. And Mike Cosgrove had a travel ball team called the SoCal Birds, and I was a JV player at my school, Trabuco Hills High School, and I wasn't very good. And so I'm like starting to work out with these like committed like D1 guys, and then all of a sudden, I make friends with Blake. And Blake, if you're watching this, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to reconnect. I know it's been a while, but all of a sudden I'm like making friends with all these guys on the OC Giants is what the team was called, and I'm like, wow, like these guys are like really taking me in. Like I used to think that like if I wasn't good, like no one would like me, and like they didn't care if I was good. They just liked me for who I was. And so then what happened was Blake actually introduced me to a guy named Mike Cosgrove who owned the SoCal Birds, a travel ball team, and I need a summer ball team to play on. So I play on Mike Cosgrove's summer ball team, and I tell him that I'm not playing very much at Trabuco and all that stuff. And he's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to get you as many reps as I can. And then, a year later, I tell him like, hey man, like I'm not getting the opportunity I want. And he invites me to go to Tustin High School to play for him. He was the pitching coach there. And so I go to Tustin High School and I get an opportunity. I really seize the opportunity. I kind of do really well. I kind of ball out. And this is my senior year in high school. And I was so scared to transfer because I didn't know anyone. I was transferring with my buddy Eric Kraus, who's like my best friend. He's like a brother to me. But I didn't know anyone other than Eric. I was scared. Like Tustin was in a different part of town that I'm used to. And I got there and it was the best thing ever. All the guys embraced me. I made a lot of friends. It was super fun. The coaches were awesome. And I played a lot. I killed it, man. And then because I was playing a lot and because I was doing good and my stats showed that I was doing all right and I got that opportunity, I was at Tustin and I get an offer to walk on at Cal State San Marcos and room with my best friend Daniel Johnson. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I got an opportunity to play at a high school and start and show that I'm good, or that I could play a little bit, I got an opportunity to go play college baseball at Division II school in San Diego. And trust me, the story's gonna make sense. So when I go to San Diego, I room with my best friend. We had these visions of grandeur. Like we're gonna be, roommates. We're both gonna get drafted out of a D2 school. I don't know how that was gonna happen, but we just believed. And I get there and it was like God like shut the power off and I could not hit a baseball. I wasn't very good. Like I lost like all my ability, and I worked extremely hard there. It wasn't like I was slacking off. I worked extremely hard, did everything the right way, yet the results and my abilities were not showing up the way that I trained extremely hard my freshman fall semester. And I'm 18 at the time, and they bring me in the office at the end of the fall season and go, hey Marcus, you're a walk-on. I know that we're not paying you money and there's no guaranteed roster spot. I think you'd be better off, playing junior college baseball or transferring, because we're not going to give you a spot. And that shattered me. I was broken. I felt like I just felt terrible. It was the most awful thing ever. And man, it really, really sucked. It really sucked. And that, and I had to go home. And everyone in my town in Orange County was going to USC, Harvard, UCLA, Yale, Notre Dame. Like there's some high rollers in Orange County, and like everyone went to a really good school. And like the people that like, the stereotype was like the people that went to junior college weren't very like successful, or they didn't like focus on their studies in high school. Some people would say they're like losers, but I don't believe that. But that's like what I heard people say. And so I was like, damn, like I'm gonna be a loser and go back to junior college. And that hurt me, because I went back home and my grandma was living with us at the time. So I had to sleep on the couch and go to a junior college called Golden West Community College in Huntington Beach. And at Golden West, I got there and I thought I was going to start. I barely played. I got like 6 at-bats that whole year. So then I get cut my fall semester, and then my spring semester as a freshman, I get 6 at-bats and barely freaking play. And so now my confidence is shot, and I'm sleeping on the couch at my parents' house. I'm back home, and everything's falling apart. And I'm 18 years old at the time, 19 years old at the time, my freshman year, and I get this weird feeling to transfer, and I'm scared. I'm super, super scared. And we play this school called Santa Ana College, and they beat the crap out of us. And I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm like, wow, they're having so much fun. Wow, they look like they're having so much fun. Like, our team wasn't very fun. Like, I kind of got bullied at that school, and it just wasn't very fun for me. And I wasn't very good, by the way, either. I didn't really think I was that good my freshman year in college anyway. So there, the opportunity was limited for me to play. And I was like, wow, Santa Ana College looks like they're having the best time of their life. And so what I did was, we were driving home after we got destroyed by them, and we played them at home. And what I did was and this is all going to make sense, just trust me, give me 5 minutes here. And what I did was, we were on the bus home, and I looked up on the freeway, and it said, if you're looking for a sign, this is it. And obviously, like, it could be a coincidence or whatever, but I was like, what the heck? And I took that and ran with it. So at the end of the year at Golden West College, and barely played, and I wasn't very good, I told my coaches and everyone on the team that I'm transferring to Santa Ana College. And they were like, what? Like, that's a better school. And everyone, even my parent, not my parents, but just everyone in my life was telling me, like, yo, like, you barely played at the school you're at, and you're transferring to a better school? Like, what the heck? Like, why would you do that? Like, what makes you think you're going to play there? And I left, and it was the single greatest decision of my life to leave. And so I get to Santa Ana, and I get there, and we're playing, and I'm playing a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like, I just stop doing good, and I struggle, and I'm not playing anymore, and I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm like, holy crap, year 2 of sitting on the bench, here we go. Boom, COVID hits, and everything gets shut off. I think my baseball career is over. And then, all of a sudden, my coach is like, hey, we're gonna be starting up in like the next 6 months. I'm like, oh my God, no way. And so that summer during COVID, after the season immediately shut down, I got the opportunity to train with like big leaguers and D1 baseball players and the best people in South Orange County, and like North Orange County too, because everyone had to move home. Everyone had to move back home because colleges were shut down, pro seasons were shut down. And so it was like the craziest thing. And there's only one field open in Mission Viejo where we lived. And so everyone would meet there, and everyone would train. And so we all just kind of made friends with each other, like a cool community, like the Sandlot. And so we did live at bats. I was seeing like 98 every week. Like, it was crazy. And I made some of my best friends there. One of them being Ryan Ball. Ryan Ball, if you're watching this. Another one being Andrew Hacker. And I made some of my best friends through COVID because we shared a common interest, and we just only had each other. And so that's what we did. And so I trained every single day, 3 times a day. It was crazy. Like, we'd go to the beach and surf, and then and surf and bodyboard in the morning, and then we'd pack, sometimes we'd pack a lunch, order lunch, and go straight to the fields and work out, and then go back to the beach, and then finish, go back to the fields. And every single day was the same. It was beach, baseball. It was super, super fun. And then I got really good because your community and your environment shapes you. And so I was around big leaguers, future big leaguers, pro coaches. Shout out Jose Tolentino, was my hitting coach. Awesome dude. His son's name's Milan Tolentino, and by the time you watch this, he's probably going to be in the big leagues. I think he's in AAA right now. And it was absolutely crazy. And so my coach Tom Nillis at Santa Ana said, hey, everyone, including sophomores, I know it's going to be your third year when you come back, but you guys have eligibility and you guys can play again. I'll see you in a couple months. And then, so everyone on our team that was sophomores, because you're only supposed to go to a junior college for 2 years, everyone came back, and I came back 10 times better than when I was a sophomore in my second year. And it was because your environment shapes you. And I was training with just ballers every single day, and it made me so much better. And I was not the best at all, but being around guys that are just crushing it, and big leaguers and stuff like that, doing that every day for 180 days, I mean almost half a year, it literally just shapes you. And that's what I did, and it was crazy. So I came back to Santa Ana and balled out and did really well, and was hitting off of guys that are now in the big leagues that played in our conference and stuff like that, and met one of my other best friends, Nick Lopez. And this is all gonna freaking circle back, okay? So I have a good season there. I get some looks from some D1s, but everything falls through. Everything falls through, and it sucks. And give me a second here. It absolutely sucks. All like the cool offers I thought I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna go D1, and it never happened. And so I play on a summer team, and I met a guy named Brooks. His name is Brooks Walling, with a W, Walling. And Brooks, if you're seeing this, feel free to reach out. I should give you a call, actually. I'll send this to you. But Brooks called me and goes, hey, I know you're on my summer team. You're a good player. I have a bunch of connections. But I know that a lot of things have fallen through in the last couple weeks for you. I know you're probably scared. You don't know what to do. And I have a scout that called me, and he said that, they're recruiting at the University of Permian Basin. I'm like, University of Permian Basin? And then I look it up, and it was Permian Basin. It was University of Texas Permian Basin. And I went there, and I didn't know anything about it. It was West Texas. I thought it would look like Dallas. No, it didn't. And I was like, okay, cool. And they paid me a lot of money to play there. And so I was just like, all right, cool, let's do it. And so I committed to the University of Texas Permian Basin, and I committed, and then my parents moved to Idaho that summer, the summer going into going to the University UTPB. And so I literally had all my stuff in my car. So when I helped my parents move to Idaho that summer, I had all my I left my car in California, and I drove a U-Haul up to Idaho to move them in, and then I flew back to California with all my stuff in my car, and spent the night at my uncle's house for like 2 weeks before I drove all that stuff in my small little Nissan Versa at the time. Blessings up, I don't have to drive that anymore. It was just a beater. The car would have so many issues, wouldn't start. But anyways, I drove my car with everything packed to the gills to Texas, having no idea what I was gonna do. No idea. I've talked to the coach like once, and I go there, and I end up rooming with someone that I played summer ball against. His name was Logan Brett. Logan, if you're watching this, I love you, man. So I end up going to, sorry, dude, this guy just honked at me. But so I end up going to UTPB, and I room with Logan Brett, and Logan's one of my best friends, one of my other best friends now, and we just have the greatest time. And I ball out at UTPB, and it was super fun, and I really start to feel like I'm in a groove, and I'm starting to get more confidence, hitting and playing baseball and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, things are really starting to pan out here. And but there were some things I didn't like at the school. Nothing with anyone specifically, but it just wasn't a good fit for me. And I was in West Texas, in Odessa, Texas. If anyone's out there watching it, they know that it's like there's just nothing to do out there. And I'm a California kid, and I'm so used to playing in the water and surfing and doing all that stuff, and green grass and trees. And out in Odessa, there's like nothing like that. And so I just had it on my heart to hit the transfer portal and not stay there. And I was so scared. Everyone told me, what are you doing? You're burning a bridge. Who knows if you're going to get picked up in the transfer portal? Everyone's in the transfer portal. Like, no one's getting recruited at the D2 level. And I looked at all these people that told me that one time, and I said, I'm going to burn a bridge to build a kingdom. And if you ever heard that story about burning all the ships and giving yourself an ultimatum of there's only one way, that's what I did. And from there, I hit the transfer portal, and a few months later, Oklahoma Christian, a team in our conference, actually reached out to me. Shout out Lonnie Cobble, the head coach at Oklahoma Christian. He reached out to me, and he was like, hey man, I'd love to have you on an official visit. I'm like shook, because when we played Oklahoma Christian, I sucked. I did not do good at all. So I was like, dude, what the heck does this guy see in me? Like, this is the last school that I thought would hit me up. But he flew me out to Oklahoma and took me out to dinner, and they paid for like my hotel room and all that stuff. And it was like such a great experience. I loved Oklahoma. It was so much better than Odessa. And right then and there, I was like, hey, this is the place for me. Like, this is God ordained. And I was talking to a few other schools, but no one was really pulling the trigger. And this one just fell into my lap. It was actually crazy. I think I reached out to them, and they emailed me like right back, and flew me out and offered me, a month later, and I went to Oklahoma Christian. And then from Oklahoma Christian, I started my businesses, giving me financial freedom, helping me reach so many people, help me help businesses, helping me find fulfillment in my life, and just really this whole business, Flow Forward Media and Flow Forward Creative, has been the craziest thing. But the story goes on. So when I started my company, Logan Brett, my old roommate at UTPB, even though I was at Oklahoma Christian, he goes, hey man, are you looking for a sales guy? And a couple days prior, he said, are you looking for a sales guy? And I said, yeah, of course. Like, I'm the only one selling here. I'm the only one in my company. I'm like, it's me and my business partner, and I would love a sales guy. And a couple days later, when I had a meeting scheduled with my business partner, me and my business partner, who's still one of my best friends today, got drafted, or not got drafted, but signed professional, play professional baseball, and so he could no longer commit a bunch of time to Flow Forward Media. And then he ended up getting drafted by the Giants, and now he's a killer. If you're watching this, I'm not going to say your name for integrity purposes, but man, I love you, and you're a dog, and let's keep talking, man. Let's keep growing and keep winning together. But anyways, my business partner, the day my business partner and I split, and I took full ownership of Flow Forward Media, my buddy, Logan's buddy, Chris Basorka, calls. Literally 5 minutes after I got done having one of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my life. And I'm like, holy crap. So someone who was really, really helping me out in the business left, and we split. And then all of a sudden, I just had someone else to come in and help out. And so with Chris became, started as a sales guy, and now he's like the VP of the company and just absolute killer. He has equity. He's a part owner of Flow Forward Creative as well. And Chris is the man. Chris, if you're watching this, dude, I'm so proud of you, and you're just the best. You've really taken this company to the next level, both companies. But anyways, I would have never, so now let's backtrack. I would have never met Chris without going to UTPB. I would have never started my business without going to Oklahoma Christian. I would have never gone to Oklahoma Christian if I didn't say I'm going to burn a bridge to build a kingdom and take a risk and bet on myself in the transfer portal. I would have never gone to UTPB if I didn't take a risk and go to Santa Ana College. And Santa Ana College was a better school, way better school than the current school that I was at in junior college. And I took a risk and went there anyways. Delusional confidence, delusional faith. And so I would have never gone to UTPB without Santa Ana College. I would have never gone to UTPB without going to Golden West. And I would have never gone to Golden West without getting cut by Cal State San Marcos. And at the time, getting cut by San Marcos was the most painful thing that's ever happened to me. It shattered my confidence. And now the biggest pain in my life turned to the biggest blessing. And I would have never gone to San Marcos if I didn't take a risk and transfer to Tustin High School. And I would have never gone to Tustin High School if I never met Mike Cosgrove, who gave me the opportunity, the coach of the SoCal Birds. Mike, if you're watching this, I really appreciate you, and you're awesome, and you're the man. I would have never met Mike Cosgrove if I never knew Blake Hunt with the OC Giants. And I would have never met Blake and all the other guys, Emilio, Max, Stone, all those guys, Corey, Kenny, everyone. I would have never met any of those guys, including Blake, who got me to meet Mike Cosgrove, if I never took a risk and met Bobby Gould my sophomore year of high school, when my parents forced me to shake his hand and ask for his number and take a risk. So I think my question has been answered about moving. Should I move or should I not move? And I didn't know what to do. I was scared. And now we're 37 minutes in, and I just answered my own question. I got to take a risk. I'm scared. It's the biggest risk ever. I'm on my own. No one's paying for anything. There's more competition than ever. You know, if I'm not the top dog here, what makes me think I'm going to be the top dog there? That happened at Santa Ana too. That happened from Golden West to Santa Ana. Same people asked the same question. Oh, it's more expensive. Oh, there's more talent there. Well, of course, there was more talent at Santa Ana too than there was at Golden West. Don't leave something that you're comfortable from. I was really comfortable at UTPB, and I left because I knew I had a conviction in my heart to go, by God. I think I just answered my question today. Holy crap. I'm shaking right now. You can't see it, but I'm shaking. And yeah, I think I know what I need to do. Guys, if you're still watching this, thank you so much. I've been driving around downtown OKC because I want to film and drive. I don't want to stay in my parking garage, my parking lot, and film. I just think it's boring, and I think it's cool to be driving and talking. Never done this before. The biggest thing is, if you're confused, I guess, and you don't know what to do, start rolling the tape. Start talking on film and camera and just ramble and see what happens. And my answers aren't solved yet, but I think I know what I got to do. And it's scary and nervous, but I'm gonna do it. So with that said, thank you for watching. This is the longest YouTube video I've ever made, 40 minutes long. But if you need hope, if you know someone who needs hope and needs a little nudge to go on and take on the world, or take on a big risk or a task, and they need some hope or some motivation, please send this to them. Yeah, because I think it would be great. And thank you for watching. Let's win. Let's go. I'm excited. I'm kind of scared. I'm pumped. But thy will be done. And guess what? God will provide. All right, bye.